Good morning, namaste, welcome. Today's topic has been initiated by someone in the group, and I see actually a lot of people who struggle with people around them who, I'm using a word like toxic, okay? And I'm not judging anybody, please understand. It's just that people who sap your energy, and we have them all around. Actually, it is not the fault of those people, isn't it? It's just that you have to grow to that level that you don't allow them to sap your energy. Vanita, would you like to just introduce it and then we can go ahead?
So, as ma'am is saying, that it is so important that we surround ourselves with the right kind of people, because eventually we all, and I think most of us are on the healing circuit here. We understand how we absorb energies as well, and a lot of times because maybe it is a thing in a throat chakra, or for whatever reasons we are not able to spell out what do we feel, and we need validation from the wrong people, and the people around us, they could be the closest of our in our circle. They all the time, they in some way or the other try to put us down. And I think I'll actually like to start with a very uh, my own example. So a very very dear friend of mine for many years, and I would just not want to really talk to her much, because whenever I would speak with her, after an half an hour, 15 minutes conversation or whatever, my whole day used to be like so. I don't want to use a very strong word, but yes, I used to feel very, very low all the time. And it happened for about a year. Then I realized, I would just stop. I didn't want to go to meet her. I didn't want to talk to her. And she's a good friend. That's so unfortunate. But then I realized that whenever she was in a very good space, she would be all over the place. But when she was in a space where she would, need a shoulder to cry on or crave, and then it would be, it's like a saga that would happen. And my husband actually pointed out to me, he says, "Do you realize what's happening? What is she doing? And how these things just come around." And I think I realized it that gradually how we have to understand the energies of the other people, even in the closest circle, how they are impacting us, or as you rightly say, that we have to understand them and then grow our energies above that. So I've been like really working on it. So I'm so much better on at least a neutral space, you know.
Yeah. And
Over to
actually,
you.
what happens is that a lot of times you cannot kind of disconnect. Now, here it was a
Correct.
friendship, so you could step away, but sometimes you're living with those people. And again, I'm saying I'm really not judging anybody because everybody is growing at their own pace, isn't it? So if you feel, and today morning only I was doing a session with somebody, and she was asking me that is it toxicity in the house? Is it toxicity of people? So I said it could be anything. Nobody can really point to what exactly is the toxic person situation that is making your energy go low. But what you have to do, and I always emphasize this, is you can't be saying, okay, now this person is draining me, now this person is draining me, now this person is draining me. So aap iske sath clearing kar do, or I should move away from here. Running away and all these things are not the solution. What you really need to do, what you really need to get into, is that you have to raise your energy and your vibrations to that level where the other person's energy does not drain you. Very often on this forum, and even otherwise, all those who work with me, I make you do the cutting and connecting cords. Sometimes it's such a close relationship. It's like, you know that your children are draining you. Now here you don't have really anybody else to blame. If it's someone who's like a mother-in-law or a friend or a partner, then that's a different thing, that you have a choice, or you feel comfortable. Now supposing your own children are in some way draining you, then what? It's not that you can walk away from that relationship. It's not that you can step away. Well, people do walk away also. I know for sure that people do walk away also. And really, there's nothing wrong in doing that. That there's absolutely nothing wrong in doing that. But what you need to understand is that what is most important here is the fact that you're running away or you're moving away from that situation will not heal the situation. Or if it is our own parents, sometimes your parents drain you, or there are differences or discord between parents. that does not mean that you will, you can just break off that relationship. Sometimes you may disconnect with them, you may walk away, but it doesn't leave you. Does it solve the whole situation? And there's the whole reason why we took this up was because one of my students wrote that what to do if we have to live with those people day in, day out, and I'm making efforts to heal myself and move forward, and yet I slip back into them, into that vibration of feeling kind of threatened or rejected, or it's just not helping me grow. But actually you are wrong there. You're absolutely wrong there, because they are the only people who are helping you to grow, right? And you have actually outgrown them. That is why you feel the discord. Otherwise, if they are shouting, you are also shouting. Somebody is abusing, you're also abusing, isn't it? Somebody is not talking, you're also not talking. So you're both on the same plane, you're both on that same low vibration. But because you've gone to that high vibration where you no longer wish to engage or get caught in this daily kind of rut which drains you, that is the reason why you're feeling that there's some difference between them and me, isn't it? So what do we do? We can't walk out, we can't we can't continue to stay. I'm just not able to control my energies. So the best thing is to do is to just focus on yourself, on your growth, and how empowered you have to be able to come into that space of forgiving. We're not forgiving what they are doing. We are not saying, okay, it's okay for them to do whatever they are doing, but forgiving for yourself. And I'll explain this as we go along. Yes, Pritika, I'm so happy you're here. Pritika, ask your
Auntie,
question.
I just wanted, yeah, I just want, thank you so much, Auntie. Wanted to just check with you that is it incorrect that 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 for some time you just want to ignore them, not indulge in any communication with them because you don't feel you're there, and it's not coming from an, you're not being egoistic, you just don't think you want to deal with it at that point in time. Is that incorrect or is that okay to do? And I'll just give you an example. Let's say if it's an occasion, a birthday or a anniversary. Now you politely wish the person, but you decline being there at the occasion. Would that be wrong, or is it okay to preserve that part of your energy?
Well, I feel it is absolutely okay, but you have to go one step further and see if you're ignoring them, kind of not speaking to them, maybe just wishing them and stepping away. That's absolutely fine. But what is happening in your head after that is what is more important. You know what I mean? If in your head you're all the time in that mind chatter, what are they doing? I declined it. God knows who else is there with them at the invitation or at the party. If your mind is totally engaged and in a way is going through that whole mind chatter, then it's you'd rather go there. But if you're at peace when you step away, and if you're at peace with not crossing a particular limit, okay, the other person may not approve of it or not like it. It's absolutely okay if you have done it respectfully.
Yes, Andy. So I think, I mean, at this moment, I think from initially when the journey would have begun, would have been where I hated the person, wanted the person to go through pain, etc. But I think right now I'm just like I don't think I'm there that I can be around the person and ignore the energy. So I'd rather not be around because uh, the idea is to just to be able to get a hold of how your energy feels and not, not think anything, not think anything negative or low. I'm still not at a place of neutrality. So so that's where the question is stemming from.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I totally hear you. And since we've been working together, I know what you are, kind of going through. So what I want to say is that all I'm asking you is to come or try and bring it. I'm not telling you to just fall in love with that person and go gaga, because you just cannot. And doing it in an artificial way, you can only do to some level. Beyond that, it's like, I can't do it, because we would not want to be living that artificial life and in a way cheating, sabotaging our own energy, isn't it? I mean, I'm cursing the person from inside, but I'm trying to be nice outside.
So yeah.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Auntie.
Okay, I'm sorry, there is a little flickering of the internet since yesterday. So if my voice even goes off, just hang in there, it'll reconnect. And of course, I'll send you all the recording. So yeah, just to continue from what Pritika was saying, it's really to bring you, and I know she's using these words because that's what a lot of times I have been guiding her into, to come into a neutral space. And I guide everybody. I'm not saying go out of your way to please the other person, but just come into a neutral space, not for the other person. It's not, it has nothing to do with the other person's energy. It is all about how you are feeling inside, because that is self-preservation and that is self-sabotage. So you have to know what you're doing inside. If you're being okay with the person or you're ignoring the person, but internally in your mind something else is going on, then it is definitely self-sabotage. So actually, you only need to come into that space where you are peaceful, because that is what matters at the end of the day, isn't it? And yes, in a lot of relationships, particularly close relationships, you may need to maintain, certain like a code of conduct, or you may need to be meeting or greeting the person every day. Do as much as you can, but even if that's just greeting that person, do it with your heart. And I'm sure all of us here have gone through with some relationship of this kind in our lives, but they're really not worth putting so much energy, like this quote in the what we wrote to in this the poster for this talk, that if it costs you too much, then it's too expensive for your energy, isn't it? Because how much effort you put into bringing yourself into a positive state, how much effort you put bringing yourself into a like nice, easy, comfortable space, and then all these issues, all these connections which drain you instantly, they are just not worth it. And again, I repeat here, I'm repeating again, it's not about judgment. It's just where they are and where you are. So respect yourself, respect them to the level that you can, and just leave it like that. And like I mentioned, when it is with such close relationships, when it's with children, when it's with parents, and you cannot sort of get what you want to put across to them, just do the energetic processes that have been taught. Just do the cutting cord process. Just connect at the heart. It's important to complete whatever you have with the soul, because they are here to teach you, to help you grow over that emotion that they are bringing out, or in a way is being reflected in your energy, in your body, when you connect. Pritika, does that make sense?
Yes, Auntie. Auntie, I'm sorry. I'm just going to take one more minute to ask an additional
Please
question
take
of
as many minutes we want you to be asking.
Uh, so is there like while you taught us the cutting cords, is there an affirmation to let go? Is there any affirmation that you can do to just say, I let go of whatever? Like, is there anything like that? Because no,
It's that that is an affirmation what you're saying. I'm absolutely ready and willing to let go of this, because there
okay.
is a part of you which is resisting the letting go, no? A subconscious part of you, isn't it?
So I think after doing all the energetic work, one thing I've definitely understood is it also stems from a need to want that relationship to work out, or go in a direction that you desire, which is like, say, let's say close relationship, right? As soon as that gets released, it'll be at a neutral space. I think I'm still hanging on to, like, you wish sometimes things work out because some part of you is still longing for that relationship.
Fair enough. But you are longing for that relationship to happen on your terms.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
other
yeah.
person is wanting to be in the relationship on his or her terms, isn't it?
Right,
So you have
right.
to drop this your terms. What is more important for you?
Agreed.
What is
Right.
more important, your terms or the relationship? But what defines your terms? Your ego. We come back
Got it.
circle, isn't it? It's like,
Got it.
why is she or he not behaving in this way? If they were just behaving in this way and they would agree to this, what I'm saying, life would be so beautiful. There would be no difference in the whole relationship, isn't it?
Right.
It's only
Right.
because he's not agreeing. She's not walking on the same path as me, but they have
Right.
their own path. And if from my heart I'm longing, like you use that word, I'm longing for that relationship, then my ego will not pop up to that level, because my heart is longing, but Am I listening to my heart or my mind? If I'm listening to my mind, then obviously all the discord is only coming from the mind. It's never from the heart, isn't it? It's never from the
Got it,
heart.
Auntie.
And then
Right.
holding on to things that probably there's in the past. And even whatever you're doing with the other person or interacting with the other person, if there is underlying um expectations there, then that's what causes the whole problem. I am behaving so nicely. Why is she not reciprocating? Why is he not, responding in the same way? But he may not want to, she may not want to. But does it
Right.
make you happy to share love or to speak nicely or to do something for the other person? Why can't you just do it for giving yourself that happiness and forget about the other person? And believe me, in a little challenge or a little, relationship where you have some kind of a discord, if you're able to do those small things which make you feel, which you want to do that also, you have to first cross the mind because your ego will not let you do it. Isn't it? Your ego
Sure,
will
Auntie.
not let you do it because your ego,
Right.
why am I doing it? Again, it's going to backfire on me. Why should I be the only one doing it all the time?
Got it,
Is
Auntie.
You have to cross that ego to say, okay, let me just come into my heart. If it makes them happy, let me just do it. And to do that, even if it is from that line, also sounds a little egoistic. If it makes them happy, it's like, yeah, I'm doing it from the point of, um,
Charity.
yeah, giving them happiness. But no, that's again, there's an underlying ego there too. But just say that,
Yeah,
okay,
that also
I'm
makes you
not
feel
feeling,
good, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I'm not feeling so good doing it, but I know just doing this will make them happy. That is coming from the heart.
But I think that's also a big problem, Auntie, because that becomes a pattern then.
Well, that's for you. Then you have to bring in your awareness. Like, is it becoming a pattern? Am I just doing it from the point of appeasing the other person, but internally I'm not feeling anything? No, if you do it and you know that there is genuine, the other person has genuinely felt happy, or they've received it in that way, or it has given you genuine happiness to be able to do that, then it's just absolutely okay, isn't it? It's
Thank you,
absolutely.
Auntie.
Yeah. So just reflect that all this, like now for years, this is happening in this relationship in my life. I mean, every time and again, if I'm talking to somebody or there's a day when I'm upset and down, it's only because my interaction with this particular person has not gone well, or this particular situation in my life is just not solving. Then how long can we keep going on and on with that? How long can we keep going on and on with that? I mean, my mind doesn't even want to understand now that, oh, she's here to teach me a lesson. Oh, here to help me to grow. I don't want to grow this way. Yeah? You come to that point, don't we? And I don't want to
Right.
go through all this, right? So then these modalities, simple, cut cords with them, do some forgiveness. Like a part of you would feel, I can't forgive, but I'm not forgiving them. You understand that very well. It's not about forgiving them for what they are doing or saying. Forgiving them or forgiving the situation to free my energy. Otherwise, I have so much of emotional energy invested in this whole thing that I keep going back there. I keep slipping into that same thing again and again. And all of us have these trigger people in our life, our biggest gurus, if I may say. As much as, we feel a vengeance from inside when we think about them. So you just need to bring yourself into that neutral space, just yourself, not about interacting with them. Do the cutting cords, do the Ho'oponopono prayer. It is the best. It's like just so powerful. And like somebody has written, I just read while Pritika was talking, that there is residual karmic debt. So don't accumulate more karmic debt with them, no? अभी तो यही नहीं complete हो रहा, अगर हम और लगे रहेंगे तो we are accumulating more with them, isn't it? If I'm cursing them in my heart, or if I'm not thinking good about them, or I'm feeling bad about them, then obviously I'm accumulating more negativity in that aspect, isn't it? तो अभी वो residual ही नहीं clear हुआ, plus I'm adding more. So whom am I to blame? Nobody but my own self. So even in your prayers, just say, please, whatever I have with this person, God, help me to overcome this. Help me to grow out of this. Isn't it? Help me, show me the way. We are focusing again outward. It's like, please, God, help the other person to change. Make the other person understand what I'm trying to say. Let them agree to me. Isn't it? We are asking, the other person doesn't want to. There's nobody else that you can work or control or kind of, bring into awareness but yourself. And your presence and your awareness will shift so much on the other side too. And believe me, the more you keep engaging in that conversation, whether it is in your mind or you keep holding on to that, that anger or that jealousy or that anxiety inside you, that not so good feeling, rejection, betrayal, whatever it is sooner or later going to come out in your body, isn't it? All that kind of criticism that you feel inside, or the vengeance that you feel, this negativity that you feel, it only lowers your own self confidence, your own self esteem, directly or indirectly. Yeah, does it make sense? Meenakshi, you're nodding your head nicely. Yeah.
Very beautiful, makes complete sense. Thank you.
And these are just simple things that we all go through. I mean, I may be, giving you all this knowledge and this wisdom, but there could be a point that, there could be a time and point where I get triggered by my child, or I get triggered by somebody in the house. So it's not that it doesn't happen. It happens to all of us. I mean, at least I feel that I've not reached that stage where, I never am affected by the other person's energy. Of course I am. But then do I want to waste my time, my day going into it and, crying about it in my own space and talking about it and actually amplifying that negativity? Or can I just be quiet about it, cut cords, do some forgiveness, try to just send love to that person? We did a lot of prayer meets during the COVID times. And I remember one of the biggest thing that we learned at that time was to kind of forgive, and also reflect or look at things from the other point of view. So it really opened up our hearts, all of us who attended. It was led by my teacher Rohini. And every day we would do some chanting and just send energy to people all over the world, because everybody was suffering, isn't it? So that is a situation where you don't know somebody and you're sending love to them. But if I say to send love to somebody who's sitting in the next room with whom you had an argument, instantly your heart shuts down, isn't it? You can send energy to the world. हाँ, London में ये हो रहा है, UK में ये हो रहा है, America में storm आया है, people are suffering. But what about the person who's going through a storm in the next room? We're not able to do that because our ego instantly comes in, because we personalize things. And this is I think the COVID and all these prayer meets and Reiki that we did at that time really helped us to open up our hearts. And when you're thinking of something or when you're doing something, that was really one big thing that I learned in those prayer meets, was that whatever you are doing, whatever you are thinking, reflect, is it constricting you? Is it making you feel constricted? Or is it expanding you? Even if it is to say something to a person who works with you, or somebody like a staff member at home, he or she has not done something according to the way you wanted it. When you're speaking to them, is it helping you to feel expanded? Or is it helping you to feel constricted, where your ego is feeling very expanded, but inside that whole thing makes you feel very, constricted, because you get angry, you shout at the other person, you feel you've done something very big, but actually you feel constricted from inside, isn't it? It's your whole energy shrinks when you're angry, when you're upset, versus when you say something to them in a little loving way. I wish you could have done it this way. You always do it so nicely. So the moment you shift and you convey from the heart versus the mind, you see the difference, and you see what an expansive energy starts to come inside you. Firstly, to be able to say that, you have to drop your ego, isn't it? Isn't it? So when you want to really challenge yourself, on a day when you really want to challenge yourself, try to say these soft words or something, do an act which would make these people who trigger you, do something nice for them, and see how you feel. But if it is coming from the ego, just be aware. If it is coming from the heart, see how good you feel. Just see how good you feel. Actually, there's a bigger plan that the universe has, and the universe is taking you through that, isn't it? It's just to, like you say, you're such a person from the heart and you've always been doing. Just think of the pleasure that you derive in doing what you are doing. And once you just connect to that part of you, the other things will just disappear. I do see that you come from your heart. You want to step out. Every time you get that courage to step out, There is something that pushes you back because there's a lot of judgment in your own mind of yourself, of your life circumstances, isn't it? There's a lot of fear attached to that. There's a lot of, I mean, you feel that people are judging you in different ways, but that's really not true. You need to learn to build those healthy boundaries. It's not about just going out and pleasing people, or the fear that your children, your daughters will get that, take that as an example. Just understand every child has their own journey, their own destiny. So don't be in that fear and forget about anybody else. Just right now, focus on your own energy, focus on getting your balance that you're not able to get. Ground yourself, because what all this is happening only because your energies are extremely scattered at this moment. You know, you've gone through this whole episode of losing your father-in-law, and then the whole all that follows, especially in your kind of setups where you have to be around and there's so many rituals and all these things. So you have to come into a space now where you shift the focus and you bring the focus to yourself and work on bringing in a balance. And where you need to speak, speak. Where you don't need to speak, at this moment when you are vulnerable, when you're not fully feeling confident, just respectfully. Nowadays we are lucky that we can just send a message or just send a, you know, a namaste with an emoji or something, that way. So just do that, just use those things, and but don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel in your heart that, oh, what must they be thinking, or they must be. You have to stop that mind chatter. Just be confident. Try to be confident that whatever you have done, whatever you have said or not said, this is how it was meant to be. This is the way that it was meant to be right now. And this is just the best. There's nothing more than that. And understand that something is making you not take that call. There is a higher power. There is a higher consciousness which is telling you. So trust and honor yourself, where a part of you saying, I just can't, deal with talking with this person right now because they're going to drain my energy. It's absolutely okay to not take that call. Do these small things, but don't fall into guilt. Don't fall into guilt. And whenever you are coming to Delhi, then do come and meet up, and, I'll make you a bhag flower remedy, and we'll just speak a little bit so that you can heal this rather than add this trauma to your life. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, just pray to get that balance in your life. Just pray that don't push yourself when you're really not feeling like doing something, and just for whatever societal pressure or something. Stop and reflect. Is it really important, or is it going to make me so miserable? Then just step back. Don't worry what people will think. When you do it, people will think something. When you don't do it, people will think something. So forget about people and society and all that beyond the point. Don't let that become too big in your head. Just wait and pause and see what will give you that peace, what will help you to, move ahead, and forgive yourself. Most of all, don't beat yourself. Don't punish yourself so much for all that you're doing or not doing. This is the place where you need to draw those lines and, build those healthy boundaries for yourself. This is self-preservation, as Pritika was mentioning, whether it's in a small setup of a home or a big setup where you are. Yeah, and you will slowly, you will get there, but don't beat yourself up and don't be in such a confused state. It's everything is happening. There is always a bigger plan, and you are, in every step, there is something more than just what you can see. Just be yourself. Just maybe listen to a grounding meditation, listen to a chant. Don't struggle to understand. Otherwise, you will get more and more entangled, because right now the mind is like, it really wants to understand and grasp so much. I see that there's a lot of past that opens up here. So don't try to struggle to get answers at this point. Just don't struggle to get answers. Yeah, don't do that. Just try to do things that make you feel a little silent, be peaceful. Don't engage too much, as much as you need to engage, but beyond a point. Don't put yourself out there where there are more questions being thrown at you and you yourself don't know the answers. And it is okay. The biggest thing is that it's okay. Don't worry, my daughters will just stop all that. So get yourself into that position where your daughters will also follow and learn to respect their own feelings and respect what they are thinking. Yeah, when they see you, automatically they will also, understand that. But again, there is always a bigger plan. They have their own journeys, they have their own past, they have their own kind of karmic plan that they are here for. So just understand and trust that. Yeah. And it's okay to speak, it's okay to let go. Nobody is judging you, so I'm happy that you've shared whatever you've shared, because you'll feel a sense of release in that too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Vinita, coming to your question of spaces that you feel you don't want to go back to, isn't it? It's only because of, the energy that is prevalent in that space. And that energy is usually created by the people present in that space, isn't it? If it's a place where people are very happy, joyous, but you'd obviously want to go there, isn't it? And there are places where you feel very heavy and the energy is dense. And I remember in the initial talks that we used to have, that sometimes, like, when you're going to a place of worship, when you're going to a mandir or a gurudwara or a church, there's so much of positivity there. The energy vibration instantly lifts you, in spite of the fact that you might be feeling absolutely beaten and going there, isn't it? Sometimes we hit rock bottom and then we turn towards going to the temple or going there, but the energy there uplifts you. And it's the energy of that place where people come in with so much of faith, people come in with so much of trust, and people know that they will receive happiness or some sense of gratification there, isn't it? And the moment you enter there, it is your belief. It is your belief. And that is why you receive that sense of comfort. And sometimes, like I gave this example, which I heard very early on, that when you go to a hospital to meet a newborn child, it's a happy occasion, isn't it? It's a very happy, joyous occasion. You go to welcome a newborn child, but you come back feeling so dead and drained. Because what was the energy in the hospital? Majority of the people there were in pain. There was grief. There was fear. There was anxiety. Isn't it? Those are the vibrations all around. And that's the vibration that we catch, isn't it? In fact, whenever I speak this, I remember the topic with which Vinita urged me to start this talk was about the mind-body connect, about how these vibrations affect us and how our vibrations go up and down with those things, with the situation or the place around. So when there is a lot of fear, when there's someone in the house who's always ill, there's someone in the house who's always in the dark, always nagging, always complaining, there are arguments, there are fights. Even if it is a happy occasion, you will not want to be in that space, isn't it? I remember a child mentioning once to me that, I fear going into that house. And when I was speaking to that child, and his mother was saying that he has to go for a birthday party. And I don't know why he doesn't want to go, because he doesn't like the energy there. On a birthday party, okay, it's very nicely, there it's nicely decorated, this, that. But all the time there's arguments and fights in the house. So the child senses that energy. And as you become more and more, as you connect more and more to your energy, and you start understanding these energies and seeing beyond just what is being presented to you, you sense that energy. You totally sense that energy. And aesthetically, you might make the place very beautiful, have the best of marble, best of woodwork, best of furniture. But if there are two people in the house who are always fighting and cursing and shouting and screaming, that is more powerful than, the chandeliers or the, mm, whatever you present aesthetically in the house. So that energy grips you, because the moment you enter that place, your energy falls down. We have that emotional guidance scale within us, isn't it? Our energy goes up and down depending on what is happening around us. Right. And that's why we say, okay, come back. In fact, I was attending a class on astrology, on numerology the other day, and the teacher was telling us that, we have these rituals when we come back from a cremation ground, to just have a bath, to remove those clothes. Obviously, there are energies that get to you, because there are these energies hanging around all the time. And if you are not in a high vibrational space, they will definitely impact you. It's not just that you are doing this because you've come from a situation which we fear, which is death, which is actually nothing to fear. It's only moving on of the other soul. But we work in those conditioned ways, but they have a meaning, because there are entities there, because there are dark forces there, because there are souls who've not resolved what they needed to resolve in this lifetime, and they're hanging in there. It's nothing fearful. It's really not to make you fearful in any which way. But if your vibrations dip down to that same fear, which they have not been able to deal with in their life, then they come into your energy system, they impact you, and suddenly you feel, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. I don't know what is draining my energy. I'm not sure why this is happening to me. So it's only because your vibrations go low. Okay, somebody here's telling me that we should do the body mind connect. So Vinita, next Sunday we will talk about how our vibrations go up and down and what we can do to keep our energy high. Yes, Mansi, unmute and say
Hi, Sujata. This is the
hi.
first time I'm attending a session after the clearing that we did.
Yeah.
And, I try to practice those affirmations and revoking statements every day. And the reason why I joined today morning was I was under a lot of anxiety last 2 days because of you can call it a betrayal, you can call it cheating. Um, out of out of a good intention, I helped somebody with money some 8 months back, and now that person is flatly refusing. The amount is more than 1 lakh, and on the contrary, he is insulting and flatly refusing. And what is bothering me is how far should I go to get the money? Should I go to the police? Should I file a complaint? I can screw him in 48 hours. I can file a complaint. But what is stopping me is like, should I do this evil to somebody? Should I like just for revenging? Should I do this, or should I just let go of the money, forget, and maybe the karma will get back to him? I am not able to sleep since 2 nights because I feel low in energy. In fact, when we did a session, I like you just said that sometimes we have such people so close to us who are toxic, and all we can do is raise our vibrations. So I constantly use that statement that you gave me to raise my vibrations, and I feel a difference instantly. But this time, maybe the impact is so much that I'm even doing the Ho'oponopono prayer, and I'm not able to decide, should that person forgive me or will it help me forgive him, and how to handle the situation. If it is taking a revenge, trying to still get my money out, is it out of ego space, or is it a right thing to do?
Yeah. So see, firstly, when you're in this confused state of mind, don't take a decision. Let the decision come to you when you are more clear about the whole thing. Yeah. So firstly, at this time, don't struggle to get an answer what you need to do. But I would say that if you feel that, yeah, if the person in all means of, being fair to yourself and honoring yourself, and you've done what you did with a clear heart, so do your forgiveness for yourself that you were not able to fully understand, the person, and then seek guidance. And if you need to do something, as in speak up for yourself, or if you have some proof, go to the police or whatever you want to do. It's why are you doubting yourself so much if your energy is clear? So first get your energy clear. You've done this, you've given the money in all good faith, and now the person is backing out. And this is an example of it means it could be so many other things that, all of us go through. It's just about speaking up for yourself. What stops you from speaking up for yourself? You have to reflect on that. And if it if it makes you feel okay, I mean, it doesn't bother me, it's okay, it'll come back if it needs to and all, that's fine. But then a part of you will beat yourself up that you haven't even stood up for yourself and asked for what is yours. Mile na mile is secondary. I'm not talking about that, right? The thing is that honor yourself by voicing that I did this in good faith, and I need an answer that, or give me a time that you'll return the money, or I need the money, whatever it is, you have to. I would ideally say that you should definitely look at getting an answer for yourself to whatever level you can, and then yeah, come to a point where you know that you have tried whatever you could, right? And I don't believe really that like you said, that okay, it could lead to a kind of a fight or an argument, or you could screw him in 48 hours. Don't do it from that space, because that's really again accumulating negativity for yourself. Don't do it. Do what you need to do, but don't do it from that space. So first get yourself into a good space to be able to handle that with more, say, gentleness and more love, right? And then after that, if you feel, then you tell the person, okay, then it will come back to me sooner or later. I am very sure of that. But rest, it's about your karma. And if the other person really feels that, so be it. You can't do anything more, but walk out of any of these situations with grace rather than with feeling victimized. Right now, you're feeling totally victimized,
Yes.
isn't it? That I'm helpless. What can I do? No, don't get into that space. If you need to confront, if you need to go to the police, get someone in between, whatever you need to, you will decide that,
Yeah.
but not when you're confused. So, first, come into acceptance. Okay, this has happened. Firstly, you're in a kind of a shock that how could this person do this? So, that's the betrayal that you're feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, people, what he could be or she could be going through, what they are having, experiencing could be something totally different. So, firstly, in your own prayers, come to that point that whatever you do, your actions don't add more negativity to your karmic journey,
Yeah.
isn't it? You don't want to do it from that space. So, come into a centered space, bring yourself into that, give yourself some time, and then reach out. And then, if you again feel that the person that you cannot handle it yourself, bring in somebody. If it needs to be the police or somebody else or whatever, that's totally your discretion. But fight for what you want. Fight in the sense, put out for what is yours. Right. And then you come to a field, you don't have to say, I failed. You did your best, isn't it? Now, if it disturbs the other person or, he's answerable to the police or whatever, he called it. He invited it into his life, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right. So just let it be at that point and leave it there. But at least and you know in your heart that right now you're not able to sleep thinking I've lost this money or this person has betrayed me. Now, tomorrow, even if you don't sleep, you'll feel I did my best. At least you'll have that satisfaction. And then if it's meant to be yours, it will be. If it's not, it won't. But again, first bring your peace of mind. First, come into a more comfortable, centered space, reflect on it, pray for it, do some cord cutting with him,
Yeah.
the open a prayer. Now, sometimes these prayers also become very mechanical. You know what I mean? So do it. Say what is the emotion that you're feeling biggest. Do the open a prayer with that.
Yeah.
And just pray that you be guided to do or take the correct action.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And don't be impulsive.
Yeah.
One feels time is running out. Time is never running out. I was such an impulsive person. Maybe sometimes I still am. But I really try to take a pause and breathe before I jump into anything.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when we come impulsively, we've really not thought it through. And we don't need to take days to think it through, but just pause, come to your breath, come into a centered space, connect to the higher powers, and then you know that you'll be guided. Just trust that you'll be guided.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so
And
much.
thank you for sharing, like Shivali shared, you shared. These are like such personal things that we are going through. But the moment you put yourself out on such a forum and you share it, means that you're seeking out for help, not that somebody is going to catch that person and put the money on your in your
You know, when your message came for this session, it was like God sent because I was going through this and I was like, this is what I need today, maybe.
Yeah. And it's only because you need to put it out there and now you're asking for help from the highest source, from God, that, okay, show me the way. I'm so confused. I just don't know what to do. So just say that in your prayers. Just make that a prayer and you'll see that you will be answered. You will be shown a way. But don't lose faith.
I was looking for switch words last night to get to recover money.
That's okay. All that will come. All that will come. But what is this energy with which you are using switch words? What is the energy
That
with
has
which
to
you're cutting
change.
words? What is the energy with which you are asking? If it's a victimized thing, kuch bhi bol do, havan kara do, puja
Yeah.
kara do, nothing will really help. So more than going into all these tools and modalities, which are very good, I mean, I do them all the time, come first into your own energy, because that is what will help you. You'll be guided. The switch words bhi nahi bolne ki zarurat padegi. Just be silent, put that prayer out from your heart, connect to that other person from your heart. You will see that you will receive something for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes, Shifali.
Yeah, hi, Auntie.
Hi.
I just want to pick up from this previous question that the lady had. And, you said something that, about speaking up for yourself and standing up for yourself. Sometimes it's very difficult because, the person in front of you or people, they may be holding a certain amount of power, or, somebody might be very strong and a little intimidating, or maybe somebody who already has an ill intent, for example, the example the lady gave, or may already be holding some sort of bias which has already harmed you in a certain way. How do you even you know muster up the courage, because I actually feel scared to, to stand up for myself and reach out and, even tell somebody that, what you're doing is not right and it's harming me.
Hmm. So again, you don't have to. Sometimes we can't do it. I understand what you're saying, and it's only because you're feeling the person is in a higher place, or like you're saying, it's the energy of that person is much stronger in a lot of ways, that you don't feel you have that kind of strength, and you're fearful of speaking up because it might lead to further negative kind of situation where you may be further pushed away from that role and all. But if you feel rightly in your heart, if you feel very rightly in your heart that I'm saying this just because I truly believe in what I'm saying, then it will not be so, intimidating to speak up for yourself. You have to be very confident with what you are speaking. If you are very sure of what you're saying, and yes, there may be a times when you might feel it's better to drop it off rather than to speak up for yourself. But then again, that is standing up for yourself, no? Because if you say it, it will lead to a further mess, which is not going to help you in any which way. It will only put you down. And that is also, understand, that is also a projection of your mind. How do you know for sure that the other person is going to put you down further? It may not be so. But all said and done, if you feel that, okay, if I go into this, it'll only lead to a further mess in my life, and I'd rather not speak up because it's again going to disturb me and, not give me any solution. If you've already thought that in your mind, then don't speak, but be okay with not speaking up. Why? Because there the peace of mind comes by not speaking to some level, and be okay with that. You know what I mean? Till you come to a point where if you need to speak up, believe me, the situation will come where you will speak up. That situation will 100% come on its own where you will speak up. Trust that. And again, don't think, and I'm saying this especially to you, Shefali, don't think, oh, if I don't speak now, then I'm going to lose out on something. That's not going to happen. When it is time to speak, you will not even think, the words will just come out of your mouth. Somebody will make you speak that.
Okay.
Somebody will make you say what you need to say. But if you're so fearful, work on yourself, think of things that are kind of, think of things which are there, which you need to reflect on, which you need to sort of look at, and then come into that space where you feel more confident and more sure of yourself, of what you're trying to say. Again, like I told Mansi, she may or may not get the money, but she can just bring herself into that space where she's more confident about what she's kind of what she wants to say and how she wants to act, and then drop it at that. Just do that and just walk away. If you're meant to be fired, you're meant to be fired. If you're not meant to get the money, you're not meant to get the money. But at least you know for sure that you needed to convey this and say this, and you are feeling okay after that. Don't focus so much on the external that I might just lose my job. I might, if you're meant to lose that job, wo to jana hi hai. Just trust in the bigger plan of the universe than just looking at the small, small things. But self-preservation, form those healthy boundaries. Right now, saying it will only put you down further. Stop, pause, and you'll see that it'll pass away.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
We'll speak about the body mind connect and how your vibrations go up and down next week. And anything
Yes,
else, like,
very interesting topic.
yeah. So anything else that you want us to talk about, just feel free to put it out, because it's not me talking. I'm just sharing my views. Each one of you are contributing your own energy. So just trust and move with that. Just fully trust and move with that. And ask that, can we speak on this topic? Can we, just put it out? Like one of you said that I'm struggling with these relationship things, but it's not just a relationship issue. किसी का पैसे के साथ भी वही problem है, किसी के passing on से भी वही problem है. So it's just how our mind takes us into all this, and we are suffering in a way. That is all that you need to understand, that I don't want to suffer. And that's self-preservation. That's the highest point of self-preservation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Thank you. Keep coming and
Thank
keep
you so
sharing.
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.